No, we did the fart sound. Oh, Lauren. Everyone muted?
Yep.
Yep.
Sorry.
It was me too.
That's okay.
Oh, God. Real mature
I
about
thought we were
it.
going to stop doing that.
You thought wrong.
Maybe when we're good again.
If it's
exactly.
yeah, that's right. Turn it up, Sam. God. Oh no, is it quiet?
Can you hear us?
I like Ben's beard.
I am new Ben.
All right.
Nah, not loud enough.
Not loud enough?
Hello.
Turn it up.
I don't know if I can.
You got to
100%.
turn it up.
I've turned it up a bit. I've just put everything on high.
Pump it up.
Remember last time, did you do the settings again when you added another thing on?
Everyone else is saying it's good, so shut
Barty
up,
says it's
Grateo.
fine, so Grateo.
Turn your TV or computer up.
Turn your volume up, son.
On here, Grateo.
Bloody hell, Ross.
All right, let's get this show underway, peeps.
Oh, yeah. It's all a bit tech sound at the Crows at the moment. It's episode 92 of Here We Crow. And I'd firstly like to say welcome to Ben, who's not here.
Good start.
Welcome, Sam.
Hello, Daniel.
I had Ben's name in my head because I was about to say Ben's not here.
Yeah,
on my
that's-
notes, no Ben.
No Ben.
Ben and I have become like the Mackay brothers. We're not in the same room at the same time ever. So he's not here, but we've replaced him with two co-hosts tonight. We have both Nathan and Kate. Hello, Nathan and Kate.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
You have to talk at the same time. It's like on Step Brothers when they interview as a team.
Hey, we got to clear things up. Which one of us is the better gardener?
Oh, that can't be me.
Can you help us with the Pan-Pam dilemma? Welcome, Lauren.
Hey there. I'm here.
How you going?
I rocked up, unlike the Crows.
Well, they are rock bottom. Bad segue. Is it rock bottom for the Crows? So we're going to talk about that tonight. An 8-point Thursday night loss to the Tigers, who had only won one game for the year up to that point. Everyone's in the gun at the moment. The coach, the board, the players, mainly the leaders. So where to from here for the Crows? We got Sydney this Saturday night.
Should be easy.
Yeah, easy bounce back game, that one. They've only lost the one game, and funnily enough, it was to Richmond. So figure that one out. Rowie has put everyone on fire on 5AA. He spoke for the fans, and we'll talk a bit about that as well. I actually saw Rowie today at Complete Windscreens, where he's apparently one of the board members.
Oh, wow.
He was just out there helping out, and I was like, I swear that was Stephen Rowe. Asked one of the guys, and he said it was, and he'd be happy to go have a chat about the Crows if I see him out there, and I didn't see him again.
I think he
Damn
owns
it.
part of that.
Yeah, he's known part
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's
So-
exactly what Dan just said, Sam.
I didn't. I think
I'm
he's
glad
a
you're
board
paying-
member.
Well, I already called him Ben tonight. So. It's because I'm like trying to
Board
squint
member,
at,
owner, it's the same.
it's because I'm trying to squint at my notes, and I just sorely miss Ben, really. So,
You'll see him again.
yeah, thank you. Okay.
Excuse me.
Ben's not here, so I skipped his stuff.
Just because Ben's not here. Just because Ben's not here, man.
I'm
Doesn't
going
mean
well.
you can skip the stats.
I've had a couple of weeks off, and I've lost the plot.
We could have cheated with the quiz, but I didn't look. Did you look?
Oh, is there a quiz this time?
Look, nobody's looked, so let's keep it that way.
Dan doesn't even know we have a drive.
No.
Well, he does only bring his iPhone in.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So it is episode 92. Did you mention that, Dan, in the
Yeah,
intro? I forget.
did that bit.
Debut player, number 92, was Ian Downsborough. Played 12 games from 1998 to 1999.
He was one of those rare Port and Crows crossovers. He, I think he started at Port and came to the Crows, and we swapped him for Brett Chalmers, who went over to Port.
I don't like that trade. Started at West Coast, delisted and picked up by Port in their inaugural season. There you go, Dan. We then traded Brett Chalmers for him. So way to steal Ben's stats.
Sorry, I didn't know he was going to go that deep. Of course he did, though.
All right, and here we go. Let's start the quiz. Now, I know everyone likes the quiz, so we'll give our audience on the live chat an opportunity to answer these questions. Our now season in 1992, we won 11 games. Where did we finish?
I'm going to be terrible at every question of this quiz.
All right, if you think you've got an answer, just shout it out.
I wasn't listening.
1992, did you say?
Where did
All right, we
place?
finished ninth. Okay, who was the club champion that year in 1992?
Oh, 92. Bone.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
Well
nice
done,
one.
Dan. All right, we'll leave some room for the listeners to answer this one. Who was the leading goal kicker in 1992?
I knew this, but I'm not going to say it. Yet.
We'll give him a little bit. It's actually a player who I brought up last week for this. Oh, not sorry, last week. The week before for this answer.
Come on, chat. This is your
Come
time
on,
to
guys.
shine.
No,
We're gonna
Yoav. It's not McGuinness.
No, that was answering the last one.
without
I
the
reckon.
club champ. Sorry,
It's neither of those.
Neither of those. Vardy and Grattan.
Vardy Magic. It was Scott Hodges.
Ah.
Well done, Var.
48 goals in
Nice.
13 games, I should say.
wrong.
I was wrong. I had Rod Jamison.
Oh, did you? Our leading Brownlow vote getter in 1992. Who was that?
Scott Lee. I'm joking. It's
Leading Brownlow vote getter.
No idea.
Any guesses?
No, I've
Nah.
got no idea.
This is
not. Grateo, you got to spell McLeod right, mate.
Josh says Jarman. Vardy says McGuinness. No, wasn't it either of them? Can anyone guess? This was also another guess that I had 2 weeks ago.
Can I guess?
Yeah?
Wiedemann?
No, it's Sean Wren.
Oh, that's all.
Can you imagine if
Sean Wren.
all I had to wait was 2 years or 1 year, and I would have got all the answers right. Okay, next one. Our biggest win. Who did we beat at the G by 110 points?
Oh boy, this is going about as well as when Ben does it.
Well, did you think I was going to improve it? He wrote it. Look, it's who we just played.
St Kilda,
No, it was
Fitzroy?
Richmond.
Fitzroy,
All right, that's
Quirky.
that's the end of the quiz. All right, it was also the pre-season of Nigel Smart walking on the hot coals.
Ah,
So, you know,
That's one of our famous camps.
and
one of.
that year, South Australia won the State of Origin by 13 points. Birth years, 1992. Here we go. Brodie Smith,
Oh,
Luke Brown, Paul Seedsman,
seed.
Jared Lyons, Hugh Greenwood, and Alex Keith.
Oh, a few Judases there.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a few.
a lot of defenders again too.
Anyway, that's it from Benny Boy. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks,
Ben.
Ben.
Thanks, Ben. I hope everything's all right at home, and we'll see you again next week. I'm sure I might not because we don't go to the pod same time anymore. But anyway, let's talk about the pre-game warm-up. So what's pumping you up this week, Lauren?
I went to see Fever Ray at Hamer Hall in Melbourne on Sunday night. And I don't care if you don't know who Fever Ray is because it was the best show I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, I went to do the Sydney Opera House the other week as well. I've been just jet setting. I'm
You
a
are
jet setter. I'm like
setter.
Dan. I'm jet setting.
Not
But-
to KI though.
No, not to KI. But I did go to that show on my own. I went to this show on my own too. And do you know what? It was actually great because I was in the front row, right? And then I went and sat down. I was in the front row first. I was like, can't believe how close this is. Oh my God, it's amazing. And then another lady walked down, and she sat in the front row on the other end of the row, and she was on her own. And we looked at each other and we were like, how fucking good is this? And then another gentleman, an older gentleman, walked in the row behind us, and he sat down in between us, and he was also alone. The three of us, we'd all gone to the show alone, and we all just like chatted and had a really nice time. And then after the show, we all kind of found each other and were like, what'd you think? That was amazing. So again, go to things alone, people. It's not that scary. It's fun.
I'm a big rap for that.
Yeah.
Yep, love it.
Yep.
Why miss out?
Does that say more about the artist and their weird fans than?
Yeah, well, that could have something to do with it. An embracing community,
Amazing.
perhaps, maybe.
No, I liked Sam's reason better. Kate, did you want to talk about something that's pumping you up at the moment? We didn't give you any time to prep for this, but
No, that's okay. Yeah, look, I've got a really lame response to that, but too bad. And it's lamer than going to something on your own.
Yeah.
When I was away, I embraced a new hobby that continues to pump me up, and it's that like I've fallen into the trap.
crocheting.
No, I mean, or that was already a hobby. I have plenty of crafty hobbies, but this is like the classic millennial midlife hobby, which is bird watching.
This is Ben Areas.
Yeah, I know. I'm bringing a bit of bed energy tonight. But, you know, like the other day I was having a really crappy morning and I was cutting it fine, getting to work and hadn't slept well. And then as I was walking up to work, this beautiful flock of like yellow-tailed black cockies flew over my workplace, and I was like, if I had come here on time, I wouldn't have seen this. So that changed my whole mood. So,
lovely.
bird watching.
That is looking
I
on the
love
bright
birds.
side of life. That is very good, Kate.
I'm a bird lady too. I get it.
Brilliant.
How about you, Nathan?
Well, on Sunday, my parents bought me a ticket and I went to Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, very nice.
Cool.
Some of those are impressive people,
Yeah.
both good and bad, because there was a male contortionist there and they bend completely inhumanly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they definitely do.
Yeah.
Samuel?
No, I don't have anything for you. Let's get on. I want to talk about the game.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Let's
we'll
get
do
on
that in a
with it.
second. But before you do that, what's pumping me up is I have had to cram Hive songs into my head for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I finally get to perform them live this Saturday night after the Crows game. So any listeners who want to come check out my band doing some Hive songs at the Metro in the city, please come down, win, loss or draw against the Swans. Either come drown your sorrows or come and get pumped up after we win unexpectedly. And yeah, it'll be a good time. It's only $10 entry. We're on at about 10:30, maybe a bit later. Come along.
Yeah,
Alright.
party with the Huey Crow crew. I'll probably come. Sounds good.
Lauren might be there. Sam's a maybe. Ben won't
Ben's a
be
no.
there. But come party.
Vardy said people will go if they can get free.
Yeah. Wrong band. Yeah, that's exactly how we feel, Sam.
No more needs to be said.
That's it. Next game. So we did play Richmond, as I said at the top, last Thursday night. We didn't know what to expect. Richmond brought back some good midfielders and whatnot, and we went down 10-11-71 to 12-7-79. Who wants to rip the Band-Aid off on this one?
Oh, boy.
I love how, like, at the game, Dan, we were just like laughing. Like, because what else could you do?
Yeah.
Like, we just were like looking at each other, just laughing, like, what is happening out there?
And I've said that many times this year.
Another one of those, if you don't laugh, you'll cry situations.
Exactly. Sam, you were watching at home. What
Yeah.
what were your thoughts?
It was funny. Like it just, well, it was just so, it was so predictable, really, wasn't it? Like we should have, I don't know. I'm as cynical as anyone, and I still thought we were going to come away with a win on the weekend. But when the game started, it was just like, oh, you can just see this coming from a mile away. It was just same old Crows, complete lack of movement. Richmond came to play. They've got a side that's under a bit of under a bit of pressure. They had a few players come back. They were probably buoyed by that a little bit. They'd played well the week before. I don't know. It just had all the writings. We've started poorly, which we've seemed to do a lot this year, which, you can't do that against good teams and apparently shit teams as well. So I don't know. I'm just so bored. I'm so bored with the Crows right now. They just, and
It's pretty uninspiring.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so uninspiring. The game plan is shit. We don't move the ball. When we do move the ball well, fast, it works.
Yeah.
The only excitement the only reason I even probably wanted to watch the game was seeing Dowling play. I think that says a lot, doesn't it? It's just, I don't know. I'm losing a lot of enthusiasm for this team right now.
The team themselves have come out multiple times throughout the year, and as recently as today, saying when we get it right, we can get, we're not that far off it and all this kind of stuff. And it just seems like a bit of a broken record at this point. To me, it seems like they've got a bunch of players, and not every player out there, obviously, but a bunch of players that are incapable of actually executing whatever the game plan is. And it's just, it's now a trend. It's not like this week we can't do it. It's every week they can't do it. So what's the problem? What are they not doing? What do they need to tweak?
Well, what I found so frustrating was the contradictions in what Nick says as well. So before the game, he couldn't speak more highly of the group, how they're all on the same page, they all know what they're doing, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically was like, we're all on, we all know what we need to do. Like we're the team is set, we've got the game plan, everybody's on board. And then in the press conference afterwards, he's almost at a loss of like, but not like the players aren't doing what they need to. It's like we don't really know what the problems are. It's like, hang on, this is like completely the opposite of what you said before the game. He sounds like a CEO or something at the moment.
He seems pretty lost for reasons as to why it's not going to plan.
Yeah, but wanting to like cover up all the like gaping cracks that are appearing.
It's frustrating as obviously a long-term Crows supporter, as we all are, because you've heard all this before and you've heard the team try to cover up the cracks instead of owning up to it and all of this kind of stuff. It just seems like that again. It's like we're going to keep saying we're close until we're absolutely not close. And then
we're drifting away, because we were close last year when we were knocking on the doors of the top teams and losing by like less than a goal. Now it's just getting further and further apart. And
and it seems like the guys around the club are just like, all right, we'll just keep spinning out this positive stuff because we don't want to seem like we've lost it. And we, whereas we appreciate the honesty, we're mature enough to understand it. If you go, okay, things haven't gone to plan, we're actually going to change it up massively now because we just want to try some different things. But no, it's like we're going to keep playing the same guys. We're going to only bring in new players if they're injured. Those new players are going to prove that they're worth a shot at AFL level given the run, but we're not going to own up to that. And
still get dropped next week as the injuries come back.
Can I be the diplomatic person here because Ben's not here?
Oh, shut up, Ben.
You need to drop your voice down a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I really do think that, the injury thing is being glossed over slightly. And I understand.
And this is exactly what Ben would say if he was here right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Ben and I are pretty much on the same page when it comes to this stuff, I think. I'm equally as frustrated as everyone, and I do think something needs to change clearly. I'm mostly concerned about the development side of things because it does worry me that we're not playing these young kids, I don't know, early enough. But at the same time, I'm no professional. Like, what do I know? Like, I've just got to trust that these guys know what they're doing. Whether or not they do, I also don't know that. Like, none of us really know that, I guess. I don't know. But we have really been struck hard by injury. And I'm not sure if anyone was listening to 5AA this afternoon, but our good mate Rowie, who I absolutely love the fact that Rowie's come out firing against the club because someone had to. He is saying what a lot of fans are thinking. I might not necessarily agree with everything he's saying, but, we are all very frustrated and we are asking these questions that are just not getting answered. So it is great that Rowie's come out and put some pressure on the club in that way. But he is backing Matthew Nicks, and he did say that Matthew Nicks, last year when they had time with him, did say that, he thinks they've got the list, but if they have injuries, then they could be in trouble or would be in trouble, and that's exactly what's happened. So it's not that surprising that things have gone to shit because we have been whacked pretty hard injury-wise. Having said that, I do think that there's obviously gaps and holes in the list and their players aren't good enough or they're not executing properly. Ben Keys, I'm sorry, mate. I think you're an amazing hard worker, but what were you doing on Thursday night? You were running around like headless chook. Like you weren't actually defending at all.
We've got multiple players that do that. Yeah. McHenry and Murphy are the exact same.
Yeah,
we do.
Murphy and McHenry were horrible on the weekend.
Yeah, terrible.
Now, the other thing I want to point out real quick is, hopefully it's quick, what I feel like the Crows are lacking is, I think might have even talked about this before, but what I feel like we're lacking as a cohesive unit is hunger. Because when you think about it, we've got your 200 plus game players like Tex, Smithers, Laird, Crouch, the older key guys who are not going to be there for our next flag. I think we can agree. They are going to be gone in the next 2 years. Their hunger dissipates. They know that they're not going to reach that glory. And yes, they want this young group to achieve that, but they're not going to be around when that happens. Then you've got your your workhorses who are hard workers, but they're not really up to the skill level. Now you've got your younger players who are all young. They're babies. They're 20, 21. They're making more money than they've ever made in their lives. And they're new to the AFL system. So you've also got that middle tier of like someone like Jordan, Dawson and Rankin who are still quite young. They're stars, but they've been in the system. So, you know, they're hungry. They're hungry. But that's it. Like the younger players aren't hungry yet. I feel like once they mature and the group grows.
Once they've found their feet and are now looking up again.
Yeah, that's when the hunger for the flag comes in. I just don't think we have that yet.
That's coaching though, isn't it?
It is coaching, because I think as well what you said, like I was thinking about how the blueprint for these lower teams to beat us has been shown time and time again, and it's basically come out firing and hungry, like you said, in the start of each half. If you look at the Richmond game, they came out firing at the start. We were on the back foot. Came out firing after half time. We were on the back foot. And then Nix comes out and says, we have trouble stopping the run of teams, and we need to, we have to wait till the quarter ends to be able to reset sometime. He said something along those lines. It's like, well, that doesn't check out, because it's actually at the start of the game and the start of the second half that you guys are struggling. You got absolutely smashed in the start of the third quarter.
So clearly, that's what I'm saying. Like, something obviously needs to change, and I don't know who or what that is internally, but someone needs to actually get them fired up for what they're trying to achieve, because otherwise it is just like being, just phoning it in and getting paid a nice salary and, training.
Nix has just been too soft on them.
And this is a bit of a bigger picture, bigger picture conversation, but something that really comes back for me is like it's on that theme of hunger, but also identity and heart in the team. And like you look at these guys that we've got in power at the moment. So you got you got Nix, you got Scott Burns, you got Homsch. These guys just don't have any personality. Like, I don't know.
Well, the club doesn't let them have personality.
I don't know if they
annoying.
care about Adelaide Crows as a football club, or if they've got any connection to it. It bothers me, because like everyone talks about getting rid of Roo, and that's all well and good, because under his reign we've done really poorly, but like he's actually someone who actually lives and breathes the club. So if we replace him, who do we replace him with, who actually gives a fuck about the Crows? Because
some of the commentary, I think in the past before Roo came in, and when we had the likes of Fagan and such, was that we were too clinical and too corporate. And, I just think we haven't got the balance of that right.
Yeah,
Dan. And
I agree.
And I think another sign of this, and what I've been wondering when it comes to like the more senior players, is that we've become again, which I think is really awesome, this very sort of like we're a family club, the kids are always on the field and things like that. And I think that's really great. However, I think that makes it hard to make strong decisions about those players, because not only are you disappointing them, but their kids, like their kids are there and they can't run on the field with dad that week, or I feel like that maybe we've swung, hearing you say that, I think maybe we've swung a little bit too far one way, and we don't want to go completely the opposite way to like back to clinical corporate, unpassionate, and so we've got to find the right mix.
It's such a fine line, because I think they, like you said, that's some really good points. They really have tried some things to bring in some culture to the team and some heritage and all that kind of stuff, but
it's being stifled, like something's stifling it, and it's that's not what we want to see as fans. But we also have those guys in the team, like, put a silver lining on it. We've got those guys like Michaelini, Rankin, Dawson, who actually barrack for the team growing up. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that do care about it.
Totally.
There's a few comments in the chat, and
there's some good stuff in the chat actually.
Quirky says, I don't feel any young players that have come in have lacked hunger. I don't think they're lacking hunger. I think they've got it, just not enough yet.
Like, grow it.
They've got to grow the hunger, and it's like what Dan said, it's the identity and the heart of the club. They've got to believe in it.
And how much of their hunger has been distracted by hunger to just play to begin with, then before we get hunger to win.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think, again, I approached this last game a little bit expecting we might not win, and trying to approach it like I'm going to see some kids that I haven't seen, or some inexperienced people, they aren't all kids, play. I'm going to see how they go. I'm not expecting it's not about the results now. I want to see how they stand up, but then I think this week, my guess is we'll see a change up, and there'll be experienced players coming in, and we're not really getting the opportunity to have those kids grow together and grow that hunger together. And I feel like the most successful teams are the ones that have stuck together, grown up through the ranks together, and formed that desire not just for themselves but with each other, something they want to achieve together. And I don't think that they're really getting the opportunity to do that.
We can't do that when the philosophy is play to win, and that's what it is at the moment. Tim Silver said it himself. We're playing to win games, and we can't achieve that. Very good point. I just want to, can we do some comments?
Yeah, go for it.
Izzy said, I think the older guys, Bartex, I guess, are just phoning it in now.
Yep.
And I think they want to hire really bland people, lol. Well, I agree. Like, it does seem like that. Like, they're all nice people, but, you know, we just want some personality. And
just need to cash that paycheck.
Chris Mills said,
Burns
killed off.
isn't nice.
He's all right.
Nah.
Chris Mills said, killed off Rash's personality. I don't think they've killed it yet, mate. I don't think we need to.
Oh, they're trying.
Yeah, like.
They put a dampener on it for sure.
Yeah.
He's a kid who wears his heart on his sleeve, I reckon. But it'll be hard to crush that, I think. Vardy says, most successful coaches have an element of asshole in them, some more than others. Nick's is without asshole, just a sheath of skin there. That is so a visual good. I did not need.
I was just going to say back on Issy's point is about the players phoning it in. It's so true though. Like just you hear those rumours about guys like Laird and Smith cracking the shits about getting dropped or whatever, you know, different things. And someone highlighted how Laird didn't get around Dowling when he kicked the goal. He was too busy arguing with the runner or something at the time. You know, it's just stuff like that. Like they're not like leading from the front as much as we need them to.
They also don't get punished for poor performance either.
No, that's right.
And they need to. We need to have a culture where somewhere along the line, when you start as a Crows player, there's a conversation throughout your career where it's like you need to call time when you're not. You know, you're not playing the way, you know, it needs to be an easy conversation, not this little laboured conversation where these guys feel like they're hard done by, like a Daniel Talia type situ, where they end up hating the club. They need to go on good terms and understand when they're not sort of doing, what we need them to do.
Lizzie says, doesn't feel like we want a premiership. We're just trying to please the boomer fan base who are happy with a well done boys, you tried attitude. Celebrating mediocrity every year. And Jad says, I want some honesty and transparency from Nix. This work harder, train more talk isn't going through my head anymore.
Yep.
I agree, Jad, and I have brought this up with John Olsen. I told him, I was like, mate, we need more than this. We need more than this because I said, look, yes, I get it's the media press conference, but the fans are watching it.
Yeah.
That is who is watching these things. So can you give us a little bit more than just like, I'm backing the boys in?
Yeah.
It simply doesn't cut it when they're not getting the results. And they're not getting the results against teams like, you know, B-grade Brisbane, B-grade Collingwood, Hawthorn and Richmond.
Like
all
we're obviously backing them in. Like that's what we are. We're supporters. But like,
we're rocking up to games still.
That's right.
And hello, we're backing the players in. We're not backing the board and the coach and the, you know, all of that.
We just need a bit more. Like, just give us something.
Look, Lauren, we'll get to work, all right?
Yeah.
It's good.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to combine a couple of things here and in a slight defence of what Silvers said on the radio the other day, he can't come out and say we're gonna change the team too much because the whole and then this is why when I said combining it, because you would combine it with Lizzie's comment with the Boomers, like if they get any sniff that we're not going in to win games, they're gonna drop off like flies. And Silvers' main thing is obviously keep those dollars rolling in, because if the crowds aren't there, then the club starts paying Adelaide Oval to be there, as far as I know. So yeah, I can see both sides of it. I see where he comes from in not trying to say, look, but we need to see some change.
Yeah, and it's
quirky.
It's not. I think this applies to Nick as well. You know that I understand that they can't come out publicly and start saying, you know, this person, that person, these people they are in charge of, you know, aren't good enough, won't be good enough, need to go. So I get that they're a bit. I think it's silly to even ask them to do that, but there's a way to still give us some honesty without throwing specific people under the bus, and we're not getting that at all.
Well, you just say it by not saying it. You just talk about, we're developing these kids. We need these kids to have these games and get a number under their belt and actually just play them, with just letting some of those older players just sit on the sideline, just basically not mention it, to actually let these kids through and develop.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. What you see said, just backing you up too, Nathan. And I just wanted to bring up this other one, Young Bean, not saying we shouldn't try to win games, but I did see some Sid Draper highlights from the under-18s the other day.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I had the whole under-18 sample team on my flight to Melbourne, actually.
Oh, yeah. Anyone take your fancy? I don't mean that way. You're
no,
obviously clearly 20 years older than them.
More.
Yeah.
What did happen is I got paged over the speaker and I thought I was like late. I thought I was last on the plane. And when I got to the desk, they'd just changed my seat because I think I was in the exit row and I'm pretty sure Tyler Welsh took my seat.
I have another.
I think he needs the legroom a little bit more than
He
you
does.
Yeah,
He definitely
potentially.
does.
I have another question, and I wonder what everyone thinks about this. I think I did put this in the Discord last week, but I know earlier in the season we were talking about the loss of James Rahili as an assistant coach, and the effect that seemed to have had immediately. And I hadn't thought of this at the time, but in the last sort of week or so, I was just thinking about how the culture of the girls' team has always been, for as long as the girls' team has been around, has been far better than the boys' team. There's never a moment where I question whether the girls are hungry. They're always doing their best, no matter what the circumstances or the injuries. And, I realised and remembered that Maddie Clark stepped back from the men's team as an assistant coach this year. And I don't know how much he's been involved, given he has had the, women's team for a while now. But, I just am wondering whether that's had a bigger impact than we might think. Because if we're talking about people who are passionate and dedicated to the club, that man has been at our club for a very long time.
True.
It's very true, yeah.
And so I know he doesn't come across as a particularly effusive, large personality type, but yeah, he's been a real through line and never kind of wavered. And I'm now kind of wondering if that's been a bigger loss to our to men's team and coaching ranks. I know there's no answer to that, but that was just something I hadn't really thought of before. And there's just such a vast difference between how the girls approach things and how the guys are approaching things. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
call.
think there's just so many elements to it. It's a pretty big discussion. There's so much that's gone on. It's been such a long time. But I don't think we're in the complete dire straits yet. I feel like this, we've talked about it before, the rebuild's never going to go straight up. It's going to be up and down. And hopefully, I think if next year's a down year, then there's some bigger questions to be asked. But I feel like this year we've just got to cop it on the chin a little bit and just finish out the season, hopefully not too shit.
Corey Sutton, yes. Sid Draper, sell the farm and family. Have to get him in our midfield.
Yeah, I've seen Corey talking about him a bit on X. So
yeah, nice to see you in the chat too, Corey.
The question is, if we do get him, will we play him in the midfield?
No, half forward. Yeah.
That's almost become like a meme now. Everyone knows that's going to happen. And it happened with Dowling. But just to bring it back to some stuff about the game, I had some goods and bads from the game. Obviously, goods were first goals to Strawn Wren. Strashani.
Stop it.
Obviously, Billy Dowling as well kicked his first goal, and Jimmy Borlase also got on the board, which none of us, I don't think, expected him to be playing up forward and in the ruck and all that. It just happened, so that was really interesting. I think, obviously Nankervis got the Rising Star, so that was awesome. Amazing game by him. He's growing in stature every week. It was probably his best game so far. Michael Laney's obviously growing each week as well and had another really great game. Yeah. Shoal has put together, a very handy body of work, as we like to say about Sholey. And Hamill was pretty handy again as well. So some good games for some of the young guys there. On the flip side, some of the bad sort of questionable stuff, like as I said earlier, the mids got smashed in the third quarter. With the 6-goal-to-2 term. It was mainly Dawson-led, Taligo in the middle. Richmond were just quicker, looked like they wanted it more. Nankervis monstered everyone in the ruck, even Strawny, obviously. He didn't see out the game, but did some nice things. People have made lots of questions about his tank and could he actually run out? And obviously he had some groin issues and had to get subbed out. But I liked what I saw with him. His kicking for goal was pretty accurate.
He's better around the ground.
And his mark, he took a few really good marks and ones that we'd seen Rob sort of go up and sort of just tap down or whatever. But he seemed a bit more sure in the marking contest. Some of the sort of bad and questionable players, I thought Schonberg only 12 touches, including 4 kicks.
Yeah.
He's pretty quiet. He needs to get more of the ball. Murphy had only 11 and 0 tackles. And he obviously dropped a really crucial unpressured mark in the last quarter. Which
What was he? He was just like,
That was so shit.
was he taking the piss or?
I don't know, but he made Dowling look bad because Dowling's kick was perfect.
Well, there was 2 Dowling centres or like kicks inside 50 that should have been marked. I think who was the one was it Scholl, I reckon, in the first quarter, who he absolutely nailed and dropped it like a pudding.
I think it was, yeah. And I mean, just stuff like that, for a kid who's playing his first game to get a goal assist like that in the last quarter would have been huge. Berry still not getting enough of the ball. He did have 9 tackles, so Tackleberry was back, but only 12 touches. And Burgess was just nowhere. 4 touches for the game, played the whole game. And McHenry 8 touches and 0 tackles. So I just wanted to highlight, McHenry obviously didn't play the whole game. But him and Murphy are sort of marketed as pressure forwards or
That's
whatever.
right.
And to have no tackles between them, well, what is that?
Yeah.
Where's the pressure?
Yeah.
Is it just chasing? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's not.
We've got no pressure at the
cut it.
moment. And, that was one of our big strengths last year is how much our elite pressure. So it's just baffling where it's gone. Like,
We've just been out. We were out of position the entire game.
Yeah.
We were not zoning. We were playing man on man, so they could just run free. We were just always behind the ball and behind the leads when it comes to all that pressure acts. It's just you're 2 meters behind. They get a jump ahead, and you can never catch up. And then you're chasing jumpers all day rather than actually getting the ball.
I think the injury call that Lauren made earlier is valid for sure. We've got a lot of key personnel out at the moment, and I think we really are missing Thilthorpe, which we've obviously spoken about in the past. But look, Richmond with an ageing list, no Tom Lynch at home. We should be winning this game if we are even remotely as close as as good as we think we are.
That's what I wanted to kind of wrap it up with is, we've blown our season with the 4 games we should have won, those couple against Brisbane and Collingwood that were against their, teams filled with injuries that if you're ever going to beat them, then that's the time. And these last 2 games against Hawthorn and Richmond, which we absolutely should have won and set up our season a bit more, or at all. But the point is and going back to that point about the team constantly saying we're close, we know what we're doing is right, blah, blah, blah. They may well be right in a way because, every game we're in it to a point where we could actually win if we didn't fuck it up. But we are fucking it up. That's the point. And we're in a position now where we're just continually losing those games, regardless of how well or how much we're staying in a game. And we're always making it a contest, even against teams that should be easily beaten.
I think that the other thing about those injuries, and because they're key players, like a lot of those players really spark the team with their energy. Like Isaac Rankin is a massive loss to
Very
us.
true.
Yeah.
And not just because he's a star footballer, it's because when he goes hard, he just sparks everyone's confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it'd be good to have
him
him
on the
back.
field is a morale boost.
That's it. That's exactly it. So we've just suffered a lot, people. We've suffered as a team.
Suffered too much.
We're suffering as fans. It's a lot. We are dealing with a lot.
It is a lot. But let's stop talking about that game and let's get into some votes. Have we got votes from everybody on the panel tonight?
Not me.
Not you, Nathan? All right, that's fine.
I'll save Ben's spreadsheet for this week.
All good. All right, Sam, who'd you have? 3, 2, 1.
I went pretty boring and probably just pretty straight down the line, I reckon. I went Dawson for 3, Nankervis for 2 and Max for 1.
Nice. Lauren?
I went Dawes for 3, Nank for 2. I gave 1 to Fogg.
Oh, snap. I had exactly the same as you.
Nice.
I had the same as Sam.
Ah, there you go.
And so did Ben. He also had the same.
Oh,
Easy.
Now I just got to find the button because I wasn't prepared for this next bit.
Come on, Dan.
Come on, Samuel. Help me out.
Oh, it's not Soldiers On, is it?
Come on, Samuel.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
I wonder if we'll go the full reverse for this situation. Sam, who'd you
No,
have?
don't do me first. I need to work out who I'm going to.
No, you've ruined it.
That's crap.
That is crap. We should give it to Nathan instead. Kate, who'd you have?
yeah, I had Fog.
And who'd you have?
I had Rochelle.
Oh.
Actually, yeah.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
after a
Cool.
week of kind of like a bit of criticism, he really actually came out and stamped his authority on the game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as shit as the game was.
I actually just on that note want to just make a comment about everyone absolutely smashing Rush in the media and all that. Like, get fucked.
Agree.
Like, we're not going to trade him. Like, he's he's still, what is he, 21? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, he's got X factor and he's playing, up and down in a team that's up and down. Like, what do you want from him? I think he's definitely pulled his weight this year, and he's I think he's playing pretty well more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick one just so we can talk about him. Ball ace.
Yeah.
I actually quite liked the Nathan and I were talking about this earlier when I popped into the TA, and I quite liked him playing as a bit of a swing man. I know he's still got all of the downsides that we've obviously spoken about before, whether we can rely on his tank to play in a role like that. But as someone who could potentially play forward, potentially play back, I don't mind him as part of the team. Almost play like, well, we probably should have kept him, but like a bit of the Billy Frampton type role, who's doing, like, he's hardly touching the ball, but he's playing a reasonable role for a very good side in Collingwood at the moment. So
that's it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I mean, there were a couple of good points I do remember for ball A's. There was one, like, definitely first halfway through one of the quarters, where he led from centre out to the wing, and the moment that lead wasn't honoured, he just kept going to clear that space, allowed another lead into it, just the way that the forward should play. And someone who's been defender all year needs to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't do great in the ruck, but he competed enough to say, well, that my view when it comes to ruckman is a great ruckman is like a 9 or 10. A good ruckman can be like a 4, and a bad ruckman is like a 2. A great ruckman can win you games phenomenally. A good ruckman and someone who can just compete it.
Yeah,
Closer together.
Yep, it is so much closer that you can get away with not having a good all round the ground player, rather than yes, we have Riley O'Brien. He is a good ruckman, but is only a good ruckman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think we saw I know we only briefly touched on it, but I think we also saw that Strawn is clearly not the answer to our ruck problems.
No, we knew that though.
We need a developing ruck. Did you want to hear Ben's quite achiever, by the way?
Oh, no, not really.
Oh, it was Billy Dowling. We could probably talk about Billy Dowling.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, look, I was really disappointed to see Billy get a game, and he really showed that he was out of his depth. No, I'm really glad we held off till halfway through the year when he should have been playing last year.
We definitely should turf him for one of the senior blokes coming back this week.
Yeah,
wait,
that'd be nice.
don't hold your breath.
Don't speak too soon.
If he didn't get those numbers where he is, he wouldn't get those numbers in the midfield.
No, that's right.
Never.
No, he was fantastic. He came in, he looked very assured. Ben said he wasn't easy to spot at
He
the
was
ground.
very difficult to spot, yeah.
And I must admit, even watching it on the TV, he it wasn't until he quite turned around, he saw his number, or it was zoomed in. You didn't quite know, like maybe just a new player, maybe because he's got a fairly like standard look about him.
Very standard look,
yeah.
very normal looking guy. He needs a weird haircut,
Yeah.
Billy. I paid attention to what his boot colour and socks were, because he was wearing some weird colour socks for some reason, I think. Or, I don't know, they looked red to me, but I was like, they didn't look like Crow's socks. And I was like, that's the guy. So I just followed the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about his shape and values sensible. I'm not sure. I couldn't really make it out from the ground.
It's so bad, isn't it? And he comes, and like that would have, to lose, like that was me who put that tweet out about us losing. Would have been a nightmare for the coaches seeing Dowling play so well, and we lost the game to Richmond. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, that, we sit here, we're all nuffies, we're sitting on the outside, and they keep telling us that, they're not ready, they need to work on things. Can't they just work on them in the AFL?
Yeah.
He was clearly in our top 10 best players on Thursday.
Yeah.
Case in
Just
point,
put him in the team.
Case in point is Luke Nankervis. They're finally giving him a block of games now, and he's got a rising star.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And he's getting better every game.
Yes.
Well, can I tell you one thing that I thought Billy showed on the weekend or on Thursday, and that was hunger.
Yeah.
Did you see he had the big goal celebration? He's obviously been wanting to play for a while, so
Yeah.
he had the hunger.
I thought we were going to win when he kicked that.
That's what we need. We need the boys to get that same attitude.
I wish he'd kicked that one that he kicked out in the full at the end. That would have just put the cream up. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say.
But when we are developing these kids, don't develop them just in the ASL because at SANFL, because they need to develop at AFL speed and learn what those sorts of games can be.
That's right.
That's it. For those wondering, I did have Max Michaelini as my quiet achiever as well. Sam, should we jump into
my segment? I don't know if I've got any goods.
If you want to know what's in the spring, get into Rowan Jarman.
I've had lots of nice things. I took a week off and went to Melbourne and watched that. Well, that wasn't fun watching that shit game over there, but
No.
But one good is how cheap the tickets are to get into the MCG. $28 we paid
Yeah.
That's
per
pretty
person. Yeah, try and get a ticket for 28 to Adelaide Oval. No chance.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I know they've got a lot more seats to sell at the MCG, but still, I thought that was a pretty good thing.
Nice.
What else do I have?
Get some good food in Melbourne.
Nah, see, I know you were talking about going to Chin Chin, but no, I did get some nice food, but we sort of stuck to our hotel, so we ordered room service and then we got some pizzas delivered. So yeah, it was.
I love
nice.
a hotel room holiday.
Yeah, it was pretty
for sure.
nice. Get the slippers on
Yeah.
the road. Yeah, Lizzie was loving life. It was good.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
The new holding the ball rule is more confusing than it was before.
I actually don't think it's confusing. I think the umpires are confusing it by not understanding what prior opportunity is anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've gone, okay, you got to do the whistle faster, but now you have to completely misinterpret prior opportunity. That's what you have to do now.
I've got more.
Yep,
Yeah.
go on.
It's getting ready.
Oh. No, I know he's going to jump into something.
Don't you think? I feel like that's the issue at the moment.
I think so. But the stupid thing is, like, they brought in these new rules to simplify it, and then you've got McBurney come in and try and explain them on 360, and you're listening to him, and I'm just. It wasn't even on there for very long, and I just found myself tuning out. We just need to make it more streamlined. I don't understand. And chat, tell me if this is stupid. I'm pretty sure most fans of AFL want to see and do call for the rule to be paid that if you have the ball, you have a bit of time to get rid of it, you don't get rid of it legally. It's holding the ball. Who gives a shit if you swing a foot at it or swing your arm at it and try and dispose of it? If it's not disposed of correctly, just call it holding the ball.
Yeah,
No one had a
absolutely.
problem. Back in the day when they used to call that, no one had a problem with it.
No.
because it was
No.
obvious.
It's because they think the game's too slow when they do that. I think they want to keep the game like quick moving and like
Yeah.
But we all love the game as the game is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, I'm going to bring up the games one. Is that what your thing's based on?
Oh, no, it was based on what you were just talking about.
okay.
But you go. All right. Dog act. Yes, that was seamless, wasn't it, everybody? I did write a couple of quick dog acts to back up what Sam was just talking about around the umpiring and the holding the ball. Actually, this is what you were going to say next. The gaming, the actual deciding of the game. Say it now. Go.
Oh, well, it was one of my other bads. It's actually my fourth bad, so I was going to say it at the end, but I'll say it now. Yeah, games being decided by free kicks seems to be on the rise. There was 3, I think, on the weekend. One official apology from the AFL, which was which one did they apologise for?
The
Was
Mackenzie one.
Kilda.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Which, you see that, that's such a massive, massive penalty for something that happens
absolutely.
300 times a game for two players that were grappling each other as well. Like, it's just crap.
Yeah, how do you pick which one's doing it more?
Yeah, exactly. I know. And these apologies just mean absolutely nothing. And I know we've been burnt a few times and, us whinging about it, we've done it ad nauseum over the last couple of years. So I'm not going to go down that path again, but it's really frustrating to see. And it's boring as a neutral to see games decided this way. So kick it off, Dan.
And also, with all there is at stake, it's not simply a mistake. When you're deciding games, it's a dog act.
Very good.
And we had a second one, which was also directed at McBurney himself. And I don't know if anyone else has heard of McBurney because I didn't really know who that was.
He umpired forever.
Tell us more about McBurney.
I don't know anything more than he was a very long-term umpire.
All right. This one is for McBurney. Lay yourself out on a gurney. You can see yourself out. Dog act.
That was good.
Great job, Dan.
Yeah, well done, Dan.
McBurney and Gurney.
Yeah. I've got a couple more bads. Ned and Nick's. What am I trying to say here? Oh, Ned and Murray's TV size in a little video. So it was Toby's announcement
Yes,
video,
recruitment.
and they're sitting there watching it on a TV. It looked like it was a 13-inch from like 50 years ago. I'm not sure what's up there. Those guys like minimum 400k
Mate, they
they're
don't
on.
watch TV. They're out on the land. They're out on the boat.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Don't get me started on Ned. I was funny listening to his shit fishing show on the way here. My God. Anyway.
Probably took the monitor from the boat and just took it inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A bit tongue in cheek, obviously. I know people don't care about TV, but also the Cozzy situation.
Oh, come on, mate. What a flog.
What is
Oh
this?
no! Hang on.
Go on.
No, you tell it, Lauren. I got to fix
What's
the
the
screen.
story?
Okay, so Cozzy complained. He put up a post and he was complaining that he paid $42.50 for a glass of wine and a beer. And he was like, Cozzy lives, blah, blah, blah. Carrying on. Anyway, this is a man who has just stepped off the Garn. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been on the Garn, but that shit is
have not.
expensive as hell. So he either paid for it or he got it for free. Let's be real.
Exactly.
And he's complaining about the cost of the beers. Now, that does seem excessive, $42.50 for a glass of wine and a beer and a pint of beer, for sure. What he failed to mention is that, of course, he didn't want to name the establishment because he didn't want to, name and shame. But the advertiser have come to the rescue and they've let us know that it was actually at the Cooper's Ale House at the airport. And the pint was an imperial pint for $18 and the glass of wine was, $15 or something. Everyone knows that the airport is expensive.
Of course.
And then he made a comment like, it's only, you're only going to have one round, love, because it's so expensive. No one has more than 2 rounds at the airport. Like, come on, mate. You are a dickhead.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is a dickhead.
We all agree. He's a
Yeah.
dickhead.
No argument here.
Yeah.
All right.
Out of bounds on the full.
I've just decided it's time for social media. But Lauren, did you mention about the new thing earlier?
No. Okay, peeps. Now, I know you've all been gagging to send us money.
Gagging. Absolutely gagging.
I know you have been. And guess what? Now you can. Now, we don't have a Patreon because we can't offer you anything extra. However, if you wish to slip us a little donation, you can buy us a coffee or, in our case, a beer.
$42 airport.
Yeah, you could do that. If you go to buymeacoffee.com/herewecrow, that is where you can donate to the podcast. So we've had a few messages of how you can support the pod financially. This is how you can do it. So if you care to, please go ahead and do that. buymeacoffee.com/herewecrow. They're like literally $3. It's like $3 minimum donation. You can do $3. You can do as many beers as you want, but that's it.
Also,
We
don't
didn't-
feel obliged. If you don't like doing that kind of thing, just don't do it.
Absolutely not.
Which is exactly why we're not doing like subscription Patreon sort of stuff, because we just don't feel like we've got anything extra to offer.
All we
We
can
give it you
offer
all.
is this.
We
Yeah.
give you all in this time slot.
Dan's shit jokes.
Anyway, we've got to do Pete's Pizza.
Yeah, I
Pete's
just
Pizza.
remembered that.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Pete.
Oh, Vardy said we all just presume you guys were all heaps rich. Vardy, I haven't actually won the Powerball yet, and the minute I do, this podcast is over.
Yeah.
Vardy, we don't talk about glass tower wankers like Cozzy in this way if we're rich.
Now I'm putting the link in the chat, which is duh, I should have done that anyway, but the link is in the chat now, so you can go suss it out there. All right, Pete's Pizzas, are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not working. So I've downloaded it. I've downloaded it early, and now the Bluetooth isn't working.
Oh, no.
Right.
Can we fix this?
That's
Now-
Nathan's fault because he
No.
told you to download it early.
He really did,
Nathan.
but it's not his fault at all. It's the stupid thing. Why does his phone suck?
If only we could afford better technology.
Sweet.
Hi everyone, welcome to Pete's Pizzas. Thanks again to the Here We Crow crew for giving us all a platform to wonder why we even bother. So I'm going to give you 3 takeaways to chew on after our pitiful back-to-back performances against Hawthorn and Richmond. First up, I'm talking about starts. Slow starts. We're all sick and tired of being let down by slow starts. Hawthorn kicked the first 4 goals at the G, and Richmond kicked the first 3 goals on Thursday night. It's happening far too often. So to Matthew Nix and the team, that extra large capricciosa pizza you ordered for tonight, sorry, it's going to take a while. None of this, if it's not here in 10 minutes, it's free, malarkey. You can pay for it up front, and then I'll see if I can be bothered to deliver it. Maybe the pizza will get there in the next hour or 2, if you're lucky. Second, I'm talking about spuds. Our selection committee loves putting spuds in the team. They've persisted with wasting games on unskilled players or players that are past their prime. It's losing us games of football and it's costing us games of experience and the right kids. Billy Dowling finally came into the team against Richmond only because Crouch got injured against Hawthorn. And lo and behold, Billy was in our best players on Thursday night and he wasn't even playing in the right position. Imagine how much better our team will be when players like Dowling, Schoenberg, Berry, Curtin, Nankervis, Cook, Pedler, Rochelle, Edwards, Ryan and Taylor are getting games of AFL in the right positions. But nah, let's keep putting lead in the midfield and keep picking spuds like McHenry, Murphy, Keys and Smith. So to our esteemed selection committee that really do love spuds, I'm serving you a mashed potato pizza topped with cold, soggy chips. Chew on that. And lastly, I'm talking about energy and confidence. Matthew Nix said we lacked energy against Hawthorn and we lacked confidence against Richmond. For whatever reason. What is he talking about? Plenty of us supporters lack energy and confidence, yet we still find a way to turn up and support the team. And for them to play like that, and for Matthew to have no answer for those pathetic performances, is quite frankly insulting. So to Matthew Nix and the team, I'm making you all an extra large ham and jam pizza. And you can jam it right where the sun don't shine. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, Pete, that was amazing.
Pete.
Pete's got next level.
I'm now thinking that by the end of the season, Pete will have matched the graphic he came up with, Sam, and there will actually be shit on pizza.
Pete is like Pete's too professional for this podcast. I think. He's like he's kind of like Nankervis and Michael Aney. Like I'm liking him more and more every week.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's funny this week that I think Pete's just outdone himself there.
Yeah,
but we have a reward for you, Pete, actually. You've put in a lot of work for the podcast and, we didn't ask you to. You've just done it, and it's off your own back. So we've got a special gift for you from a long-time listener, first-time caller. This is dedicated to you from Vardy Magic, Pete. So this one's for you, mate.
The frutti di mare or marinara, radicchio, capricciosa, bang vieng, chorizo, salami, capricciosa romana, tomato, cheese, depressa salami, pepperoni, and mozzarella cheese.
I think my cord skipped it accidentally, but that was fantastic.
Well, that's my favourite part as well.
How good.
That's
so many
That's
pizzas.
special. That's a special Pete one from Vardy.
I like
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
well done,
Vardy.
Vardy. That's great.
And thank you, Pete. Yet
Yeah.
again, amazing.
Very good.
What's
So-
next?
Social media stuff. Other social media stuff.
I got Instagram here. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to press the social media button, Dan?
I already did it.
He's already done it.
Oh, yeah, of
Ages
course.
ago.
Wake
I feel
up.
like you should do it again.
No. All right.
Look at how long it took you to do that.
I was looking for something else funny to do and it wasn't
Fart
there.
noise. That's a few
Yeah, I
pages
should
away.
add that.
Nick English will beat Sydney.
Nick, come on. Also, Nick, can you explain to me why you were on in Summer Bay?
Why not?
I saw Nick's Instagram and he was in Summer Bay.
Really?
Yep, I need to know why.
Not on the show.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
It looked like he was on the show or
What?
working on the show.
Bozza will be pretty.
Yeah, Bozza needs to know
jealous.
about this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry to deviate from the conversation, but I need
that's
to know
okay.
more.
No, I think we do need to know more.
Need to know more. Tell us more.
Richie McRicho. I struggle with that one every week. Club has to boost coaching stocks with a genuine senior assistant that's coached like Jew or Rutten. Yeah. I'm not I'm not
Those
sold
are
on
two names I wouldn't have said.
No, they're not two names I would have said either. I don't mind it, but I think we're trying to obviously rid ourselves of the old boys club. I feel like Rutten's not in the boys club, so it probably wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, and Jew's got some question marks. Obviously, Gold Coast are playing a lot better than they were last year, and that's even with Dimmer, who Lauren and I absolutely bagged at the start of the year. So
And they did have that sudden jump the moment Stuart G was kicked out as well. So
yeah, that's right. Part 2, Nix needs help, and I think VB and Burns have reached their capacity, much like Nix, actually. Yeah, I completely agree. We talked about coaching earlier. VB surely he's going at the end of the year, surely. Like I see him adding absolutely nothing to this team. Everyone looks confused and the midfield looks shit. So like he's got to go as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not sold either, to be honest.
I just don't want Burns can do something, but why he's doing the forwards, I'm not really sure, because they've looked absolutely terrible this year as well. Obviously, those two fairly relying on each other a fair bit as well. Homsch, I'm prepared to give Homsch a bit of a crack at it, to be honest, because our backline, despite being constantly I guess rated by injuries, has held up really well this year. Whether that's got anything to do with him, we sit on the outside. We're bagging Burns and
well, that's I wonder, is it just Burns kind of puppeteering there, and that's maybe why he hasn't been able to focus too much on the forwards?
Oh, I'm not prepared to give Burns any leeway. So no, but I think Homsch. I think we need to give Homsch a break, really, because the backlines look great.
I won't ease up on his presses though.
No, they are.
The presses and media training 101.
Yeah. Yoshi's child. Seriously need high-end talent like Draper, Welsh. Heck, even the under-18 Ruckman looks good. Yeah, that was... I watched that game. It was quite entertaining, actually. SA almost came back.
We nearly got there. They wasted their inside 50 opportunities a lot, I thought.
They did, yeah.
Not too bad.
And Welsh just looks big, doesn't he? He's a
massive
big boy, which worries me a bit, that he's sort of it's obviously easy to look good in the under-18s when you're as big as he is, but the old Darcy Fogarty thing. Let's hope. Let's hope he's good. Adrian Dipolato. How soon can Tyler Welsh start? Honestly, he is our saviour at this point. Yeah, I certainly hope you're right. He's definitely got some talent. Obviously didn't touch the ball much in that game. Kicked 4 goals from 7 disposals, I think. And did a lot of it late too. But it's going to be exciting if he can replicate what he's been doing in the under-18s in the AFL at some point.
There's a DM from Quirky in there too.
Yes. I've just got one more from Digger. For the love of God, don't risk Rankin this week. Yeah, it's a fair call, actually. Yeah,
we'll obviously talk a bit about this week after social media, but Rankin and Tex, do we need to bring them in before the bye?
They'll give them an extra rest.
All right, we got one from Quirky here. This is a long one, so buckle up.
Ooh, I'm buckling in and up.
Hey, Crowies, I was going to call in with this, but didn't. Here's my vent. Agree with a lot of Rowies' questioning of the club. A few bullseyes were hit, but not all. I don't really agree our drafting the last 5 years has been a complete disaster. There are a few well-documented howlers, but most of the ones still at the club were the right choices, and I hope they do come along. The choices of Jones and McHenry cop a lot of heat, but after the top 5, there are a hell of a lot of misses from the 2018 draft. Most don't seem to be playing anymore. McHenry being anything other than a rookie confuses the hell out of me, though. Our coaching group definitely needs a review, though. I wouldn't straight away sack them all, but we definitely need a better tactical brain in there. Apart from not being able to attract decent assistant coaches, we don't seem to generate highly rated assistant coaches. We really seem to be a bit of an outlier. Although our drafting hasn't been as bad as reported, the players we re-sign is another matter. We need to be more ruthless and get rid of the list cloggers.
Yep.
Completely agree.
Boom, mic drop.
So.
Well
It is absolute. Yeah, he's right there on numerous levels. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we did get some texts over the weekend too. Let's have a look. Oh dear. Who is that?
Kate?
Oh my
Is it
God!
Kate?
Hang on, no,
It's
wait.
not Kate.
With Tex out, Gallant coming back from injury and Dragon injured, do we have an issue with Borlase playing up forward? I like the move by the Crows. Burgess isn't cutting it. Thought Borlase was more than serviceable with most probably limited training in the position. Well, guess what? We agree with you, anonymous caller.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We've got Brad Law. These kids deserve a better football club with a better coaching staff. What the fuck is going on with our club? And this one from Anonymous. Why can't you start playing the kids? Snowy, last game for Knicks if we lose is surely. That was right at the start of the game.
How'd that feeling about
Where's he gone, by the way? I saw him on a plane. He was living it up.
Singapore,
Is he?
having a fun time. Yeah,
right.
lucky
Well, Snowy, if you're listening
bastard.
to this over there, have a nice time.
Yeah,
Assuming
good
he
for
is.
him. Now, we
he's
got
not
a message from Jaden from last week. So
Okay.
this is after the Hawks game.
Oh, God.
Adelaide Crows boys club rearing its ugly head again. Question mark?
Still relevant.
Too many of the performances this year have been lacking effort. At times I've been disgusted. I've turned it off or I haven't even bothered to watch at all. The club's treatment of Josh Rochelle is alarming to say the least. Half forward flank is the hardest position on the ground to play and it's the easiest position to go MIA in. They leave him out to dry at the half forward flank and then throw him to the wolves. The club pushing Josh out there every time they're under scrutiny is disgusting. This club is closer to another rebuild than they are the ultimate success. The unwillingness to blood their draft picks early has set them back years. In a way, it does seem that the club is still hanging on to 2017 by refusing to drop certain players when every single fan in the league knows said players aren't good enough anymore. They don't want to pull the trigger and hurt Smith, Laird and Walker's feelings, but they had no reservations about pissing Tyson Edwards and Darren Jarman off when they gave their sons the flick pretty damn quickly. I guess Tyson Edwards and Darren Jarman aren't business partners with Rashudo.
Some pretty good points. Some pretty good points there by Jaden. And the Rochelle one, we obviously talked about Rochelle a little bit earlier, but I agree. Like that whole point where he played heaps of CBAs against West Coast and only played two in the Hawthorn game, and I don't think many at all against Rochelle.
Well, I know people were a bit up in arms, and obviously Jaden was about that Rochelle thing with the Channel 9 news. Look, Josh Rochelle has a contract with Channel 9 clearly. Like he's the go-to crow for Channel 9, and they've obviously chopped that interview up a little bit to make it seem a bit more like he's a bit more forlorn and
But not even the interview though. Just the facts that he didn't play as many CBAs in those last two games. Like why?
Yeah, and I mean that's a legitimate question. But what are you asking Josh that for?
No,
you know what I mean. Like you can't ask him that.
I'm more asking it now.
Yeah, well, I meant Channel 9. Like you can't really ask him that because he's not going to be able to answer that kind of question. Yeah, and that's where people said, oh, he needs to be talking to his coaches about that. I'm like, well, of course he is, but he's also, he's a young kid talking to the media. Like, of course he's going to speak from the heart. Like,
what sort of response do you expect him to give?
Yeah, exactly. And then you kind of, it's kind of annoying for him because, he wants to do the right thing by the media and be the guy, and then you switch up his words and kind of make it out to be something it isn't, and then you lose the trust in the player.
That's the shit fine line they got to walk. You either get that cardboard copy stuff every week that they spin out, or you get them saying something and then everyone jumps on it.
Yeah.
The other thing I was just going to say in Jaden's one as well is about Laird and Smith, sort of us cutting those guys sooner. Again, back to that, we have to do it because I don't want to be sitting here bagging Laird and Smith.
Absolutely.
Because they've been good servants of the club. They've been great players in their day.
And they've stuck with us through some really shit times.
It's such a shame to almost seem like you're being personal with them when you absolutely wouldn't be. They're probably great dudes, but they're just struggling.
Absolutely.
And the club is doing them a disservice, and they're probably doing themselves a disservice by not making that call earlier.
Absolutely.
You tarnish your own reputation. It's better to leave with all the fans asking, why did you leave, than them asking, why don't you leave?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure no one feels good about this current situation.
Tonight on 5AA, I heard Charlie Dixon, there was a cut that he said, I'm out of form and, my spot isn't secure and I'm happy to go to the twos if I'm out of form. He said that.
And he should.
When have any of our senior players said that really?
They haven't.
No.
They haven't really at all. And, Smithers has said, I'm pointing him out specifically at this, just for this example, but he was well aware he wasn't informed, but he didn't really.
At the start of the year.
Yeah. He said it on the news, he said it twice, but he never really said, my position is under stress or pressure right now because he doesn't think that. So, he needs to think that. He really does need to think that.
Yeah. And therein lies the difference between the two clubs in a way.
Yep, definitely. Is it time for some serenity?
Oh.
Yes.
Well, before we do that, do we have Bozza's selections or does that come after?
We'll do that after this.
All right, cool.
I think we need to all calm down
Yeah,
before we
fair point.
before we preview this next game.
Yeah.
It's been a big couple of weeks. So welcome everyone to Serenity Now with Kate. This week we are going to use a relaxation technique called the whole body sigh. So to begin, close your eyes or rest them on a spot in front of you. Inhale through your nose, filling up your lungs just halfway. Pause for a moment to remember that we are only halfway through another disappointing season and there is much more pain ahead. Inhale again through your nose until your lungs are fully puffed up, like the egos of members of a boys' club who think they are untouchable. Now exhale through your mouth in a big audible sigh, as if you've just witnessed an insipid on-field performance against a rubbish side and are resigned to the fact that their club song will continue to haunt you forever.
Oh my God, did it ever?
It was so painful to hear.
Finally, feel your muscles relax as you let your whole body go floppy and loose, slumping like the form of our entire playing group and our patience with the excuses and rhetoric. Now open your eyes and repeat our mantra. We calm, thanks, Sensible Crow, as one.
Yes.
Very good.
That's so good. Well done, Kate.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yes, I hope everyone feels better after that. the did really help.
And I'm glad that came before the we calm as one part. Anyway, should we talk about this week's game?
Yeah, well,
look, it should be a rip snorter.
will it be a rip snorter? I
yeah, it
don't.
will be for
Well,
sure.
it might be if you're a
Being
Sydney
optimistic.
supporter.
I might need some of the substances he was on to get through this game.
Yeah.
That seemed like a parody Gary Ablett, that video, if anyone's seen it. But anyway, it was him. So yes, of course, we've got Sydney this Saturday night at our home ground, which is not so much of the Crowville lately.
No, our home record is actually shit.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about that in the Discord last week, late last week, and it's actually atrocious. Our home record. Yeah, not good.
Not good at all.
No.
Sydney are obviously absolutely smashing it this year. As we mentioned earlier, they've lost the one game against Richmond, who beat us last week. And it's ominous, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if Richmond can beat Sydney, I know we can't beat Richmond, but
Stranger things.
What's that
happened, I
logic?
guess.
you know what the Crows are like because we've been under the pump. We'll probably come out and we'll probably win by like a goal,
Oh, I mean,
and everyone will be like, "Everything's fine.
we don't know.
No, we're all good."
We don't know how to play a game that's not either won or lost by under 10 points. So.
This is honestly, it's the first time this year where I've really questioned my commitment to going to the football.
I think you have every right to.
Yeah, I won't lie, and I don't do this often, but I offered up my seats to someone at work whose partner goes for Sydney.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You can't give it to an opposition
The
fan.
rest of them go for the Crows.
That's hardcore. But it's cold out there.
Yeah.
It's wet and raining. Do I really want to go out there and watch that being
know
dished
what?
up again?
If I wasn't if I wasn't getting ready for a gig this Saturday night, I'd go because I like I actually like the kind of car crash kind of drama side of things as much as I really want us to win, but I like watching how bad we are sometimes.
And the crowd slowly turning on the
Yeah, the
players.
crowd.
because
That is the
There's
one.
something sadistic about it that I like.
That is the one thing that got me through Thursday night, Dan, is that we were just treating it as this is just funny.
Yeah.
This is a show. This is a show, a terrible spectacle.
So if we beat
and it
Sydney,
can't get funnier.
if we beat Sydney, I'd be more laughing than celebrating because I'd be like, well, now we start to win against good teams.
Yeah.
Lizzie says, I think everyone should boycott until there is some change. What do you think that would actually work?
No.
No.
I think Lizzie's just trying to have Sam home.
But what if
fair
I
point.
want to see a Saturday Sydney training session?
Yeah.
Yep, you
Yeah.
can.
Under lights. Yeah.
Really will be, honestly.
Yeah. Like I don't.
That game on the weekend against Geelong,
Yeah.
coming back from that. I mean, obviously they got shocked right at the start, but to come claw their way back, and they were just absolutely on fire.
They didn't look
are
worried
amazing.
at all.
No.
Lizzie, we went down to my parents and we were watching it down there, and Lizzie was like, "Wow, I thought this was going to be a good game." And I was like straight away said, "Look, Geelong are absolutely trying their guts out, and Sydney do not look worried here at all. Like they just knew they had another gear.
Yeah.
And when they flicked that switch, they were just they were stunning. It was amazing
Yeah.
football to watch that comeback, and then they just took over. I know Geelong sort of kicked back a little bit at the end, but I think they had it well and truly wrapped up. So, yeah, they're a very good team.
It does make me pleased that Carlton won't. If they make the grand final, they're not going to beat Sydney.
Nah,
Yeah.
that is good news. I think, Sydney are just irresistible at the moment. We're not even going to bother doing the Dennis Armfield because all their players are good. So
Yeah, someone
Yeah,
said
at the
that.
moment,
Well,
yeah.
Someone said a reverse. Quirky said a reverse Armfield of Burjo or Borlase kicking five.
yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah, which I don't mind.
So, what do we want to see out of this game? Let's say we do
100
not expect
point
to win.
loss, Nick's sack.
oh,
Come on.
Everyone fired.
Do you know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see a semi-inspiring loss, and then we treat it like it was a win or a good result.
Yes.
Like we should lose to Sydney, yes.
Yep.
We are at home, yes, but like I just don't want to see us lose by 4 or 5 goals and then Nix comes out and says, I'm proud of the boys, that was a good effort. Like I just don't want that this week.
It's actually more about how we see the club and the players interpreting the result rather than the result itself.
Yeah.
Like the attitude towards it from the club.
Yeah.
Young Ben has said maybe some effort, like to see us bring better pressure.
That'd be nice.
And that would be great. But geez, why are we asking for that? We should not be asking for that at this point.
No. No,
that is
the
the sad part of it.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't care how much we lose by. I didn't care, and I don't think I actually said this in the thing, but I didn't care that we lost to Richmond. It didn't bother me. The losses mean nothing at this point. It's how we go about those losses again, and it's like we keep saying that same shit every week, but we're still not doing it.
Yeah.
We had one small step with Dowling, but we need to see more.
I would love to see less CBAs from Laird. I'd love to see him at half back and have, like a Dowling, Saligo, Dawson starting in the mid or something like that.
Oh, if we run with Berry and Laird in our midfield, Sydney is going to have an absolute field day.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about Berry actually. I worry about Berry.
I mentioned that he didn't get enough of the
Yeah.
Yeah, too slow as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, going by what you were saying with the Richmond results, immediately afterwards, I could see 2 possible ways that the coaches would do this, depending on how they actually wanted to change the club after this. It's either we played all these young kids. Yes, it was due to injury, but we played all these young kids. They lost. They didn't perform. We need to get the old things back in there to be able to compete if we're going cynical. Or, okay, the season is now essentially finished when it comes to finals this year. Let's actually look at what is going to be our best team first round 1 next year, and work towards that goal.
Yeah.
They'll have to flick to that eventually, surely. Like they can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result because what is that?
Insanity.
Yeah. I did like a comment up here from I had to scroll up from Chris. It's okay. Sydney's midfield is one paced, fucking fast.
I think the most exciting thing potentially to happen for this week for us as Crows fans is probably selections because whatever happens there is going to be pretty interesting. You know, if they do bring back Rankin, Walker, if they bring in Murray, who are they dropping? Because you know, it's going to be hard to break into the back line for one.
It's going to be hard to drop Murphy. Yeah, it's a great match.
Shall we ask the man Bozza?
Boz knows.
Let's see what Boz thinks.
It's the inside word.
Well, Cook's going to come back in too. He likes that.
Good evening, everyone. Round 14 from the sauna. Call me Harrison Petty this week because I'm fully checked out and I can't even be bothered heating up the sauna tonight. So I was seeing a few of our female friends on Twitter taking a lot of photos in the toilet. So maybe next year, if I do happen to sell the sauna at some stage, I'll call it Selections from the Shitter instead. So round 14, Deja Vu or Deja Crow, we should call it. This time, the predictable MCG choke was followed by the worst 3 quarters of football I've ever seen since the 2020 bird flu pandemic. So I fully expect a complete fluke of a win this week, especially with some decent ins and maybe a debut or two. A debut, I should say. Call it wholesale. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ins. Tex, Cook, Rankin, Muzza, Rolf, Pedler, Taylor to debut, and Curtin back in. Outs are Smith, Ned, Jones, Berry, 4, Burgers, and Alicia Keys.
Not Baby John.
Thankfully, Strawn is not injured and will not be out of the team, and Rob will still be in the SANFL. Sub to be either Keys or Jones. Got Muzza playing up forward. Dowling, Taylor, Rochelle, Shu, Solly. Put them against Warner and Gordon, see how they go.
Yeah.
And that's hopefully their CBAs will be up this week in a decent percentage. So that's me done. Thanks, guys. Speak to you next week.
Bozza.
Thanks, Bozza.
Nice, Bozza.
I heard there's a senior assistant coach got a job going at the Crows. Maybe you could apply.
I actually love Bozza's ins and outs this week. I wish
Yeah.
that's what would happen. I mean, apart from the fact that I wish they'd rest Rankin and Walker a bit longer. But
I mean, we probably pretty much say that every week.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's spot on. Like, in terms of the players that should come out, those are the ones.
Issy in the chat having a bit of a laugh at Bozza calling him 4 every week, which is so good.
He calls him Crewmania sometimes.
That was extra comedy tonight, Bozza. So
Yeah, that
thanks
was
very
good.
much.
And he's absolutely right. Putting up, let's see what our future midfield looks like against Sydney's. Like
Yeah.
it's 100% like a great call, and we should be doing it. I think they're going to get smashed still,
Yeah,
but
of course.
But it's better than just watching our slow old midfield get smashed, which is what's going to happen anyway. So,
Yeah.
Well, can't wait.
yeah, great.
Yes. Do we have any more to say about it, really?
We're just going to tip. Let's do the tips.
Ugh.
Give us some tips in the chat too.
Yeah, who's got this game, peeps? Are we going to actually? Are we actually going to like sneak this one in? Maybe it will be like a total repeat of the last round of last year, and there might be a contentious goal review, and we might win by 2 points,
Or lose again by 2
or
points.
lose again by 2 points, or maybe the opposite will happen this time. I don't know.
I'm going to say it's pretty on brand for us to dig deep, as we've said, and have a crack and lose by under a goal, because that's what we seem to do against the good teams.
Vardy said bring some lube and sawdust.
I don't know if they'll let you in with the sawdust.
Yeah.
I think they know that we need the
lube's
lube.
fine though.
Yeah, they know that we need that. Myrtle says lose by 42 points. Izzy says Swans by 50. I think the players are too checked out this year. Yeah, it seems like we probably are.
Yeah.
Young Bean, Sydney by 30. Yeah, we've got no hope.
Yeah.
We've got no
Yeah,
hope
no.
for this at all.
So what do you think will happen?
Me? Oh, God, I don't know. Like, I feel like we're just going to get totally run over.
Yeah.
And I don't really have much hope, even if, like, some of those key players come in, like, they're still fresh.
It'd only be if Sydney are just like, we can afford to
Yeah,
lose
if they take their foot off the gas for it, and maybe they can just give us one, that'd be nice.
It'd be pointless, wouldn't it?
It
You'd be able
would.
to tell as well if Sydney are just off. Like, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah, that's right.
here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a gimme.
Yeah. What about you guys, Kate?
Oh, I'm going to try to approach this a bit more clinically and just, try to, appreciate the experience that any of our younger kids who, are getting an exposure. And I'm going to just try enjoy watching Sydney because they're amazing. And I'm just going to try enjoy watching some pretty fucking good skills for once.
Hopefully Jordan Dawson doesn't feel too forlorn about his
The
ex-team.
change. No, that's right.
Oh, speaking of Dawson, I just want to bring up that podcast
Oh, yeah,
episode.
listen to that. Yeah.
What is it called again? Like Aces something? I don't know.
listen.
Jordan Dawson did a podcast recently. If you look on Twitter, it's around there somewhere. But the episode was really good. It was a really good chat. He got pretty candid and talked a lot about Nixie and, the team and stuff like that. It was good. Good listen. I recommend.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
You know how I think of Dawson? I feel like he's like Banks off the Mighty Ducks when he like comes over from the really good team to the Mighty Ducks.
Legit.
And they're like shit. So we've still got a few seasons. We need Coach Bombay instead of Nix to come in and turn it
What do you
around.
mean? Nix is Coach Bombay.
Is
Come
he
on, man.
though?
Let's try and make him Coach
Can
Bombay.
we start calling him Emilio instead of Daddy?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if things go to shit next year, he can be Emilio.
Yeah. No, Emilio was good.
I just hope for whatever result actually cements us looking to the future. So
Yeah.
Swans by 48.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam?
No, like there's two scenarios here. We are competitive and lose by 2-3 goals, and I just feel like that's going to be spun the wrong way. God forbid we actually win the game, and the way that will be spun next week, the amount of content that the social team puts out, it will be intense and wrong in my opinion. But I feel like if we win this game, it'll be very reminiscent of last year and why we got so carried away about our results last year and why we went into this season feeling so positive. But I think it will be very much a sort of a false false dawn type of game if we manage to win.
Yeah,
So-
and with the bye off the back of it, you know,
Yeah.
if we've come close, if it's an honourable loss
Yeah.
or we've pulled one out, you know, that just really takes the pressure off, whereas the bye needs to be a time where we're really like rejigging our mindset and
agree.
like it'll just perpetuate the kind of rhetoric and rubbish that we're getting, and the you know the who you know whoever is still thinking we can salvage something else out of this season apart from development. So you know, I think I really in a way just want us to have our asses handed to us so that we can, you know, really spend some time away from like media and match pressure, just like resetting for the rest of the year and what that needs to look like.
A good process and a bad result. So you play the kids, play them in position and see what they can and can't do, regardless of result.
Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could get ugly. If Sydney come here and they really want to beat us and they want to beat us badly, which I can't imagine they wouldn't want to, especially after, you know, all the Dawson stuff.
And last
it could
year,
get real
you know,
ugly.
that controversy where they, made the finals and we didn't. I'm sure there's some
the
feelings there from them too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I'm around that sort of 70 point mark, I reckon. If Sydney turn up and want to play, that's where I see it. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Fun. I just got one quick thing. I just noticed AFL have just posted a little thing for Dustin Martin, who's playing his 300th game this week.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, notoriously, Dustin is a very private person and no one's getting an interview with Dustin this week. So the AFL have just gone and raided his Twitter account and just posted a bunch of photos of him with some old tweets.
Oh my God.
Including, just cleaned my room and I'm stuffed from 2012.
All right.
And another one from 2012, just about to have potato and leek soup. Hopefully it doesn't go all over me.
All right.
And here's another one. Just been beaten in table tennis by a far worse player. Sad face.
Oh.
Day off to Moz you. And some more. So check that out if you want to get to know Dusty.
That was the one silver lining for last week's game, is that we didn't have to be subjected to the Dusty 300th on top of all of the rest of it. That just would have been too much for me.
Yeah.
Who did Richmond play this weekend?
No idea.
Not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't care anymore.
No, paying zero attention.
If I care about anything, it's definitely not who Richmond's playing.
It's the Hawks. There you go.
Hawks. Young Bean.
Hawks should
right. Yep.
kill them. Anyway, it's been a nice podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Has
for
it?
92. It has, actually.
Yeah,
it's been
it was pretty
therapeutic.
good, actually.
I enjoyed Pete's pieces. I enjoyed Kate's meditation.
Do you know what I want to just call out? I know we usually ramble it and stuff it right at the end, but the chat tonight's been awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
that's
thanks so
actually
much.
great. There's
Thanks
been
for joining in.
Yeah.
Legends.
Yeah, it's really good to see.
Yes, definitely.
One day you'll call us when we go live and interactive.
Yeah.
Come on.
Don't be scared.
Well,
we want to hear from you.
We can't have a go at them because we didn't go live and interactive tonight. so-
Well, I know. Well, the reason why we didn't is because there's a lot of voices in the room already tonight. But I think, you know, when it's a more low key episode, and we go live and interactive, you guys got to get in on this.
Yeah, I reckon too.
As
I
some
reckon
people-
Issy. Let's call Issy out.
Yeah, Izzy, come on. You got plenty to say, and we like what you say.
Yeah.
Give us a call. You can also just leave a voicemail if you don't want to go live and
Yeah.
interactive.
If I'm anything to go by, the threshold is not that high to go from listeners to contributor.
You just got to be available.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we
That's
were.
the criteria.
Available.
And thanks for being involved, Myrtle. We appreciate you being in the Discord too. It's good.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We love it. We love doing the pod, even though things are a bit, shit right now.
Yeah.
We'll battle on.
We will.
Absolutely.
As some sort of cheesy coaches say, we exist for you and because of you. So thank you, guys.
Nothing's ever as bad as it seems or as good as it seems.
Yes.
Ken.
No.
Just
that's-
remember that, mate.
That's not relevant though.
That's what Nick says.
Yeah, but still not. That's exactly
Shout
my
out to
point.
Ben who would say that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
Big thanks to our friends of the pod, Kate and Nathan, for coming in tonight and co-hosting with us.
Thank you, guys.
Two is better than one, Ben. So thank you. And thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, Dan.
And thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Dan.
Actually, I'll take it back. We do miss you, Ben, and we hope to see you in the same room next week. But
Thanks,
otherwise, thanks
everybody.
everybody. Have a great week, and hopefully the Crows can do something interesting on Saturday.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Go
Bye-bye.
Crows.
Bye.